further classes, in the coming classes. That is why scientifically it is correct to say that here the baby is generally having either XX or XY chromosomes determine the maleness or femaleness. The mitotic division starts as the zygote moves through the isthmus of the oviduct. The zygote moves through the isthmus of the fallopian tube and oviduct or fallopian tube. When it moves like that, okay, towards the uterus and forms 2, 4, 8, 16 daughter cells called blastomeres. What are they called? Blastomeres. The embryo with 8 to 16 cells. The embryo with 8 to 16 cells, what it is called? It is commonly called as a morula. What is that? Morula. You can see the structure of morula here in the diagram. This is called morula. You can see the movement of zygote from the fallopian tube towards the uterus. Okay. These are the sequential events. You can see the blastocyst. This is a blastocyst. So if you take the blastocyst, cells of a blastocyst, if you carefully see the cells of a blastocyst, okay, each cell contains a single nucleus. Each cell contains a single nucleus. Okay, nucleus. Along with the nucleus, special cells can be mentioned like this. Understood, everyone? So you can see the structure of a blastocyst. What is that? Blastocyst, and it's an implantation to the wall of uterus. So finally, the morula continues to divide and transforms into another structure called blastocyst. What is that called? Blastocyst. This blastocyst, it moves further into the uterus. Further it moves into the uterus, where it blastomeres in the blastocyst are arranged into an outer layer called trophoblast. What are they called? Trophoblast. And inner layer of group of cells attached to the trophoblast are called inner cell mass. What is that called? Inner cell mass. Trophoblast cell layer gets attached to the endometrium of the uterus. Attached to, and the inner layer mass gets differentiated as a embryo. Differentiated as a embryo. Now, after attachment, uterine cells divide rapidly and covers the blastocyst. Now, the blastocyst becomes here embedded in the endometrium. It's completely embedded in the endometrium of the uterus. This is called as an implantation. This implantation leads to a process, common name called pregnancy. What is that called? Pregnancy. Pregnancy and embryonic development. After implantation, finger-like projections appears on the trophoblast. Finger-like projections appears on the trophoblast, which are called chorionic villi. What are they called? Chorionic villi, which are surrounded by the uterine tissue. Okay. Now, the chorionic villi, uterine tissue become integrated, okay, with each other, joined together and forms a structural and functional unit between the developing embryo or fetus, that is called placenta. What is that called? Placenta. The placenta facilitates supply of oxygen and nutrients to the embryo. Nutrients to the embryo. Not only oxygen, nutrients are also supplied to the embryo through this placenta. And removal of carbon dioxide, excretory waste materials, okay, are also done by this structure. Placenta is connected to the embryo through an umbilical cord. What is that called? Umbilical cord. Through umbilical cord it is connected, which helps in the transportation of substances to and from the embryo. Finally, Placenta also act as an endocrine tissue, produces several hormones like HCG, human chorionic gonadotropin, human placental lactogen, estrogen, progesterone are the hormones produced by the placenta. In the later phase of the pregnancy, a hormone called relaxin, what is that? Relaxin is also secreted by the ovary. Let us remember that this relaxin are produced in women only during the time of pregnancy. Along with this relaxin, other hormones like human chorionic gonadotropin, human placental lactogen are also produced. In addition, during pregnancy, levels of other hormones like estrogen, what are they? Estrogen, both spellings we can write, progesterone or progestogens, cortisol, prolactin, thyroxine are increased several folds in the maternal bladder. Increased production of these hormones is essential for supporting the fetal growth. Okay, what are the hormones that are secreted during pregnancy? The levels of other hormones, levels of other hormones. Okay, other hormones like progestogen, what are they called? First hormone, progestogens, that is the first hormone, cortisol, that is the second hormone, prolactin, third hormone, okay, thyroxine, that is fourth hormone, okay, are increased several folds in the maternal bladder. Increased production of these hormones is essential for supporting a fetal growth and even metabolic changes. What are they? Metabolic changes in the mother and maintenance of pregnancy. We can see the uterus structure clearly here, which is having various membranes. I said you, the cavity, uterus cavity, you can see the placental villi, you can see the umbilical cord here which connect the embryo with the mother, and plug of mucus in cervix. All these are important structures of uterus during the time of carrying the pregnancy. In human beings, after 1 month of pregnancy, embryo's heart is formed. Okay. Now, this is the first sign of growing fetus, may be noticed by listening to the heart sound. By the end of the 2nd month pregnancy, fetus develops. Okay, in the fetus body. Okay, in the fetus body develops limbs and digits. Now, limbs are nothing but hand and forelimbs and fin limbs. By the end of 12th week of pregnancy, or during the end of first trimester, most of the major organ systems are formed. For example, if you take the limbs and external genital organs are well developed. In fact, first movement of the fetus and appearance of hair on the head observed during the month of 5th. Okay, appearance of hair, okay, on the head are observed. By the end of the 24th week, or 2nd trimester, the body is covered with fine hair, eyelids separate, and eyelashes are formed. Okay. By the end of 9th month, if you take the 9th month end, the fetus is fully developed and ready for delivery. Now, delivery of the fetus is nothing but parturition, right? Parturition is average duration of human pregnancy is 9 months. How many months? 9 months, which is called as a gestation period. Based on the living organism, this gestation period is greatly varies. Vigorous contractions of the uterus leads to expulsion or delivery of the fetus occurs. This process of delivery fetus is called parturition. What is that called? Parturition. Okay, parturition is induced by complex neuroendocrine mechanism. Signals of parturition originate from the fully developed fetus and placenta. Okay. Mild contractions called fetal ejections or reflexes trigger the release of a special hormone called oxytocin from the maternal pituitary gland. This oxytocin acts on the uterine muscles, causes stronger uterine contractions, which in turn stimulates okay, further secretion of oxytocin. The simultaneous reflex between the uterine contractions and oxytocin, okay, secretion continues, resulting in the strong muscle contraction. This leads to expulsion of the baby out of the uterus through the birth canal. So now the mammary glands fully undergoes for differentiation and start producing milk. The first milk of the mother is called colostrum and the process is called lactation. What is that called? Lactation. Colostrum richly contain an antibody called IgA type of antibodies which are necessary for the newborn babies. Breastfeeding during the initial period of infant recommended by doctors. That's all.